So you gotta love quite an exhilarating winter's morning. We just found the Ntsevu Pride, the full complement of the Ntsevu Pride, so all three of the mothers, all three of the adult females and the three youngsters. Firstly, I cannot believe how much these youngsters have grown. That young male is beginning to look very impressive, even though he is still small in stature. He's got a bit of a mane coming through. And I must stand to be corrected, but I think they're roughly around 2 years old. So that's quite impressive for a youngster. Anyway, we found them after a pretty good tracking effort from Geshom, where he saw where they looked like they'd fed on something last night and then moved through the thickets. We found them with a bit of blood all over their faces, which was evidence to prove that they were the ones that fed on something. And they've now moved around quite intent on finding something more to eat, so I presume it must have been something small, a young impala or something, because their bellies are not full. And just as they were dropping down through this drainage line behind me there, they were quite focused in this direction. And it was only once we drove around, lions all walking directly towards this tree, did we notice a leopard trotting off into the distance through the thicker vegetation here. Didn't get any footage of it because it was such a fleeting glimpse. And we've now just discovered an impala ram hoisted in this jackalberry tree. So our immediate assumption is that it is the Maxim's male fleeing the scene because of these lions arriving. But it's great that there is a carcass hoisted here. We were somewhat concerned that the lions would smell the carcass and try and climb up there and steal it. Well, thankfully, for the leopard's sake, the lions didn't smell it or see it. But they did eventually bend around through the thicker vegetation here, almost as though they had picked up on the scent or seen or heard the leopard fleeing. But for his sake, this carcass is still here, it's still hoisted. I doubt he's going to make an appearance anytime in the near future, but at least it sets up our afternoon plan. But just following lions on a hunt or moving around with intent in the morning is always great, because it was a pretty chilly morning this morning, roughly around 2 degrees Celsius, so that would probably be 34 odd, I think 36 odd Fahrenheit, so pretty chilly when you're in an open vehicle wearing shorts like a bonehead. But I guess my fingers were what were taking the most of the brunt, holding up on the steering wheel here with some gloves on, so I think it's time we invest in some proper leather gloves to keep our fingers warm. Anyway, let's head back to camp for the day and we'll come back out here this afternoon, so we'll see you shortly. We swung past where that carcass was. There wasn't much left in the tree, but we managed to then get a pretty decent view of the Maxim's male resting in a drainage line close by. After some time he then eventually started grooming, and before we knew it he was up and walking into an area where we couldn't follow him. So we decided to then pop down to the Sand River to enjoy a spectacular scene of a small herd of elephants coming down for a drink. Now, although the day started off as a pretty chilly one, it has warmed up significantly, and the Sand River is definitely the place to be. So I'll just sit back and enjoy this and listen to the sounds of them just slurping up the water. Elephants can drink between 50 and 100 litres of water a day. I'll put the gallon equivalent in here. But that is a pretty substantial amount of water, which they'll be sucking up in their trunk in volumes of between 2 and 5 litres at a time. Coming down to the river where it's flowing and somewhat fresh is definitely a much better place to drink than anywhere else. Once they were satisfied and had quenched their thirsts, they then strolled off slowly into the distance. We decided to pop down to the Mashabane River, and thanks to a squirrel alarm calling in a tree, we then found the Nkoveni female slinking around trying to hunt. So with the stress of having to try and provide for her son, knowing that every time she does catch something, he pretty much steals it and does not let her come in and feed, she's having to move around and hunt pretty much all the time. So for the next little bit, just sit back and enjoy her moving around in this late afternoon golden light without having to listen to me.
Going up the road. I think she was coming here to share.
Negative zero. She's currently mobile north.
Just crossing south of the Mashabane. She's mobile.
quite some time, she then stopped in the musha bin, and we could hear squirrels' alarm calling in the distance. So she got up and started walking in that direction. And before you knew it, her son popped out of the bush.
Ntsevu Female and family are heading.
Watching a tender, loving interaction between them like this was great. Especially when you know just how cheeky he can be and how much of a tough time he can give his mother. Like this little sighting from not so long ago. Eventually, after some time of them moving around, they came down for a drink at Tortoise Pan. And so just how we were watching those elephants quite intently drinking, slurping the water up in their trunks, have a closer look here of the young male as he was very close to the vehicle, in how he laps the water up with the back of his tongue, pulling it into his mouth. So when they were done, they walked off into a pretty thick area behind our vehicle. and we decided that it wasn't going to get much better than what we had seen already, so we let them be. So I hope you enjoyed this virtual safari. So subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're enjoying these virtual safaris, and let us know in the comment section below which was your favorite part. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here again next weekend for our next episode.